Hello, this is Pris, and I wanted to share with you a word I got yesterday morning. Just as I was beginning my prayer time, I felt the Lord wanted to speak, so he had me go to the computer, and this is what he had to say. And I'm hoping this will be encouraging to you because there's a lot of turmoil going on, and there's going to be, as we know, a little more of that. But in the midst of it, there are some things that are changing dramatically and gradually. So let's start. Hundreds and thousands will be affected by the chemical toxic explosion. Not just 5 miles, but hundreds of miles around it due to winds carrying the toxin and waters. Those who understand to take measures into their hands to detoxify will be kept from the worst of it. I will interrupt here to say that chlorella is known to help detoxify chemicals, and the kind I've used before has been Dr. McCullough's chlorella, but because I trust his source and how he sources things. So, and they're small, they're tiny capsules, so they're easier to get down. So it would be good for anybody on the East Coast to get in the habit of taking that. And it's not going to hurt you. And the other thing is that we're exposed to toxins every day. Every day they discover more stuff in our food. PFAs. I just saw something that showed that there's cadmium and lead in some of the chocolate bars. So taking green foods is a really good measure. All right. But those ignorant of those things, of ways to detox and that sort of thing, will only be freed by my people reaching out to touch them with my healing grace. Those who perpetrated this atrocity will be held accountable, for some things are changing and will be changed, he said. Watch as certain organizations that have been gobbling up companies and trying to skim on keeping up the facilities used will be exposed and lose their positions and revenue, and it will be turned over to people who will be more responsible. I won't say any more about that. I have impressions, but better not said in this venue. Fissures in the ground throughout D.C. will be detrimental to the continuance of present government. Buildings will collapse and the river will overflow as winds change and storms surge through from the seaboard. Then the Lord reminded me of this old movie with Clint Eastwood. I don't know, those of you who are young might even know who Clint Eastwood is anymore, but he sang in it, and it was about miners going west for gold and how the town sank and was destroyed because of the greedy building tunnels underneath bars and whorehouses and all the buildings, because dust from the gold that they used for transactions would come through the floors. And it was kind of a funny movie, but there's some things in it that just came to mind when he talked about this. All right. It was called Paint Your Wagon. That's the name of the movie. Okay, you could probably, I don't know, you might even be able to find it on YouTube free, because it's an oldie. The oil will flow again from Alaska and other sources which have been bottled up or sold elsewhere to deprive my people of resources, despite the wickedness of those greedy to be oligarchs over them. In fact, many resources will be established that have not yet been discovered, but they will not be allowed in the hands of the haters of God. Gold and silver will be found, precious stones will be found. New industries that produce better quality steel will be established for companies to once again produce American-made products that last as they once did. But this will no longer be so expensive that only the rich can afford them due to changes in economy and its distribution. There will be titans of business who lose much because of their misdealings and usury, but there will be those who are blessed because they chose to bless others instead and not just themselves. Many will be saved in the ensuing awakening who will help reestablish businesses on firm ground and methods. Big Pharma will no longer be the controlling pin for media and news that it has been, as all is being uncovered, and many companies will be taken over by integritous leaders who will see the right road ahead and walk in righteousness. There has been so much evil science behind the new technologies in pharma that will be destroyed due to all the evil they have perpetrated, including their venom studies, melding sorcery with medical science, naturopaths, homeopathic meds will be removed by some nations adhering to WHO rules, etc. But I will bless my people with such power to heal that they will not need all this intervention. The people will need only me. Hallelujah. And I can tell you from having been to India that this is very true. In desert places, I've seen God do startling miracles and interventions that normally we would not, people would not see. Okay. Present methods of farming, he said, with dangerous chemicals will no longer be allowed in the future, as their crops will fail with what is coming. And I had a word in 2015. Well, it was the word for 2015 that's on my website. You can look there on the prophecy page. And it was given to me December 24th, 2014, about blight. And we're already seeing that. The almond trees have been ruined in Southern California due to the rains, and some other places also have lost their crops because of all the heavy rain. Okay. Some other nations will help America, and I will help America through this time, supernaturally as well as naturally. The FDA, as it is, will be removed for not complying with its original intent. Agricultural leaders who deceived will be removed. I will restore ranchers and animal farms in the long run who have been abused and intimidated by the wicked. Until that time, there will be hardships and difficult times for a while. But angelic hosts are ready to help with all that is needed until it is restored. So fear not, I am your resource for all you need. Share with one another in confidence in my ability to multiply what you have to restore and to restore. So don't get desperately, unbelieving that God's going to provide a means for you. For years in the church, I'll add, through the revivals that have been coming, there's been manifestations such as manna in the church, where manna shows up in Bibles and people would eat it and they'd be healed. There were precious gemstones laid at the feet of some people. There were people were finding them in their homes sometimes, or in the church. There's been all kinds of manifestations of glory that have been seen in other revivals. There was a a lady who lived in these apartments, because I've lived here like 31 years. And years back, she told me that her dad, when he preached, and it would have been like 30 years earlier from that, so in the 90s, 30 years earlier than that, her and her mom would get gold coming on their skin, and they'd have to pick it off. Okay, so the Bible talks about us coming forth like gold. So there's a lot of people who poo-poo all that stuff, and there was so much controversy. Okay, and there are always the enemy works overtime when it comes to revival, always trying to stop it. But understand, God has revealed some of these things to us in the past so that we would remember in these times that there's nothing he can't do. There's nothing he can't provide. There's nothing he can't multiply. And there are plenty of stories in the Bible to assure us of that. So hold on tight and believe for miraculous multiplication of food and all kinds of things like that. Continue, beloveds, in worshiping and praying for the changes as you have. I am with you. I am at hand. Continue to dance on injustice. Restoration is coming, not only for this nation, but all over the earth. The fear of the Lord is going to hit the church called by my name, and the glory will have startling effects on some. Be not dismayed, for what has started is only a trickle compared to what is coming. And that's very encouraging, right? So hold on. And when you hear of something happening somewhere, going on, go. How much do you want? How much do you want it? Just go and be in his presence, and continue in your home to be in his presence and to seek his face. God bless you.